Rightio, onto hooker. Wade Egan, Freddie Lussick, Paul Roach, and Chanel Harris-DeVita. In Cup, we've seen Jacob Aoloa. I don't know if he's played Cup this year, but he's in a development contract and played in the trials. Is Itoate Fukuoka. I always get that wrong way around because there's a city called Fukuoka here in Japan. And Makai Taufa.
Makaya Tafua.
Yeah. So I get 3 out of 10, you get 12. We're going back, a second position that we always talked about. Warriors don't have any depth and we need a world-class hooker. As long with the centres, no one really believed Wade Egan would be the guy, but we've certainly seen him step up. But who is your backup hooker these days?
Let's see. I'll give you a 2-part answer. In terms of a pure dummy half backup, Paul Roach, 100%. But if I'm naming in terms of on the bench, 14th man, I'd go Chanel Harris-DeVita. It's primarily back up Wade, but also just cover wherever.
Say he's out for a game though, and you've got to start someone, and they've got to potentially play 70 minutes. Who are you going with?
Oh, Roachy, yeah, Paul Roach proved it against the Panthers. Was really good to see him just get a shot. We all remember his brother and his sort of injury issues and that, but he was a real player, Nathaniel. And now to see Paul out there and doing some good things as well, I'd 100% put him as the guy. If there's no Wade, which frankly that happens regularly.
Where did that come from? I think Freddie Lussick was clearly the leading the contender there until Paul Roach got a shot. It's what is it he done that sort of particularly puts him ahead of Lussick for you?
I just enjoyed how he directed the traffic, and he do little sort of disguises on just like a faint sort of fake to go to the right and then pump it to the left to one of the forwards. And I feel like he's better at that than Freddie is. Freddie's probably got the stronger overall kind of defensive game on him, but stronger in defense, but more put in a couple of good hits and really fights above his weight. But in terms of a comparison more like Wade, I think Paul Roach is more like Egan than Freddie is.
It's interesting because he stood out for me last year in Cup. And he's just got that kind of personality you just really like, and you want this guy to do well. And I was so excited for him to get his debut. And then it's like, man, we got pumped by the Dolphins, and the forward pack got owned. So he didn't really stand out there. I felt like him and Kalani going both held their own in that game, given they were in a losing team. But then I didn't see a lot of him this year, and when I did, he was playing in the halves. And no disrespect to him, he felt a little bit, underwhelming. It's just like he was doing the job. And I'd forgotten just how good he was at hooker. And then you see him coming there, and I was like, oh man, why wouldn't you pick being far? He's got so much more X factor. Paul just comes in that pass, whoosh, whoosh,
yeah,
right on the spot. That was the difference for me, is that the defensive ability and the motor can't be questioned of Lussick, but that's his fundamental role. He's got to improve that passing, the deception, his running game, and I just felt like Roach complemented what we needed to get done on that day very, very well. So I totally agree that he steps up, and I'd love to see Chanel get 80 minutes at hooker if he had to, just to see how he'd go there, because I've thought he'd go well. He's got a really good crisp pass on in his kicking game. He's quick. So, of the reserve hookers there, Aloha coming up, was he Jersey Fleet captain this year? Making his way up into Cup this year. Was it via Fleck, or did he come straight into Cup?
He actually was the captain for SG Ball, and then he stepped up to Fleck, and then stepped up to he went the double step. But he's looked good too, coming in.
If I'm honest, I feel like his passes are just a little bit, needs to crispen up a bit. but the overall play, you can just see he's at home. He's not a huge guy, but he will become quite big. But I've got to be honest, I'm a real fan of Etuate. From what I saw from him in SG Ball last year, I just feel like he's a genuine 13, David Havili guy who could come on at 13, but his pass is beautiful. I think he's got the best pass in the club at the moment, being the next, again, Union halfback, but he's got a kick. He can kick goals. He's got the ability to. He reminds me of Petty Whipper, and his, a young Petty Whipper, built similarly, probably not as chubby, but a thick guy, not very tall. The thing that stood out to me was his ability to drop a prop, an NRL prop playing the Tigers one-on-one, head-on. It's just such a shame he got that really bad concussion that sort of held him out. Have you seen any of him this year?
I haven't seen I haven't seen a heck of a lot of what there this year, which is a bit of a shame. I've seen more of like Aulaw, Darfur, and even in the Harold Metz, another guy, a few years off, but one I would suggest the club locks up now, and that's Carwyn Patterson, bro. He's
something.
He's something else. He is, far out.
I hear the offers are coming thick and fast from NRL clubs.
They'll be coming, bro.
Bulldogs offering him big dollars, apparently. I hope I've chatted with his mum a bit. She seems like a really level-headed lady. That hopefully, they look at the long term and hopefully keeping him grounded in the club here. But he's definitely something special. Taufu is the one who's been starting regularly recently, has he?
Correct.
And
him and him and Aulaw have been doing a bit of a 1-2 punch, and that's been mixed up as well. Some weeks Darfur's started, other weeks it's been Aulaw. I think Aulaw has been probably held back a little bit because he's maybe just had a few more durability issues, going up into the big grade against the big guys. And Darfur has just come in almost in the back door, and just quietly come along. First time I saw him was just on one of the highlights packages, and it was like, oh, who's this guy? And since then, he's gone about doing that in Flag, and then now up in New South Wales Cup as well. Hey,
so he must be still around 20 as well, then.
Yeah, he's 19. He's 20 this month. So from Christchurch, I believe. So
it's interesting,
he's one to watch.
Freddie's signed for another couple of years, right? That I wonder if they didn't, at the time, like he felt like he was a natural successor. But there's a real logjam here that say you're going to have 2 NRL ready and say 2 guys in Cup and maybe 1 extra. So say you're going to cut it down to 5 out-and-out hookers. And we'll say that Chanel is not one of them. He's more of a utility, maybe a half, including young Patterson. Who are your 5?
Five, basically 5 to kind of sort of lock down.
Thinking about for 2024, that these are going to build your base for 2024 heading into 2025. Not necessarily playing NRL, but the 5 guys you're going to be investing in now that they're guys.
Let's see. Definitely Wade, 100%.
Yep.
Paulie Roach, what's that? 1, 2. It's going to sound controversial. Probably Aulaw, Darfur, and I'd be keeping an eye on Patterson and giving him every bit of opportunity and progression and that sort of stuff to bring them forward, which is that's harsh because I'm a big friend of Freddie's as well, a big fan of his. But that's the 5 I'd go for.
That's why I hate doing these things. To try and do it, to try and be an objective and try and think about this in a way that the coaches have to take the emotion out of it. They have to do the right thing. And if you'd asked me 6 months ago, Freddie would have been there. I do still like what he offers, but no one saw the progression of Carwyn. We didn't even know who he was. Aulaw, did he play SG Ball last year?
He didn't play a lot. I think he was named in there but injured. But
I remember seeing him. I wouldn't have expected him to be ready to go and play Cup to the level he has. No, Paul Roach, I dropped off my radar, I guess, after last year. So yeah, it's just the reality that I would agree. I would agree with those five, but it's a good problem to have. But all I can say to fans is like be accepting of the fact that it's impossible to keep them all. You can't ask these guys to sit there on a cup contract when there's a club chasing them for NRL, when you know you've got 3 or 4 genuine guys in their middle 20s who've got 5 or 6 years left. They're going to go. It's just going to
Mm.
be really important to pick and choose the right ones. And I'm
Yeah,
totally with you. Of all of them, I'm keeping Carlin. Just his leadership is something about him is very special.
absolutely.
Probably
Yeah,
the the, the
he's
the highest potential hooker I've seen out of the Warriors in a very long time, who's out of our system. I can't. Have
yep.
we had anyone come out of our system over the years that's really cemented a spot in it in NRL? And if we have, you've got
Not to
PJ
any
Marsh. He wasn't a
meaningful.
Warrior.
Nah,
Bully wasn't a
not to any
Warrior.
meaningful degree. I wouldn't think.
No, I can't. I actually can't think of any. So I think that's an exciting thing that we're getting to that point. So